We're gonna try this one more time. But I think I need more lip gloss. Because I drank it all off. So I just did a 20-minute video and I don't have any. So, yeah. CoverGirl saves the day. Sort of. Anyway, I don't know why I'm wearing lip gloss. I'm wearing no other makeup, and my hair looks like this. This is what happens in my life. Seriously. Could I have any more hair? Um, Alright. Pardon my frustration, but I just answered all these questions and it didn't work. So now I have to answer them again. Alright. The first question was from Sally and asked what I thought of Randall's Readers and also how I felt about when In the Stillness is released, and I knew that at least a lot of you guys were looking forward to reading it. Oh, this message is brought to you by the vodka that I need to drink. In the indie bookshelf. Oh, but not like officially by the indie bookshelf, because that's weird. They did not sponsor this message. Okay, so I think Randall's Readers is one of the coolest groups on Facebook ever. It's honest, it's gritty, it's sexy, it's funny, and you guys are really open and you're really supportive with each other, and some of you have made connections within the group that you've taken to other places on Facebook, so I think that's awesome. As far as how I felt about when In the Stillness was released, I was scared. I felt okay about you guys reading it, but I was concerned about just how everyone was going to feel about it, because there are so many different reactions that you can have to that book, and I didn't want to turn people away, and I thought that some people would leave the group, maybe. If they did, I didn't notice, and the cool people stayed. That was really inappropriate, but that's how I'm feeling right now. Shit, where'd the questions go? Here they are. Laura, do you find when you write that your stories are therapeutic? Yes. I think that anytime anyone writes anything or creates anything of any manner, whether it's this quilt like my mom made, or art of any kind, it's therapeutic for one reason or another. Not always sad. It's not always like my soul and I have to get it out. It could just be like just wanting to share happiness, if people are into sharing happiness. And for me, In the Stillness was the most therapeutic book I wrote because I covered a shitload of issues in that book. Not just my own issues, just issues in general. So I got to really dig into a lot of things. And 10 Days was therapeutic creatively. I hadn't written in a long time. I hadn't written a full-length story ever. And it was really just a creative workout. So that was good for me. Tara, you talk about how you have so many ideas it gets overwhelming at times. Can you share a few book ideas that you would like to do in the future? Sure. I'm working on Regan's book right now, and there will be 2 more after that in the November Blue series. I will do a book about Adrian eventually. I haven't really heard from him in a while. Maybe he's off licking his wounds. And then I will do the one more that centers around Bow and Ember. Bow and Ember are going to be in Regan's book a lot. Oh, little ADD moment. I did this on the first time I shot this video, but not this time. So here's the paperback. Isn't it pretty? Look. Look how pretty it is. I am in love. Okay. So Bow and Ember are going to be in Regan's book a lot. Because I'm wanting to move their story forward so that way when I start their final book, they're not on the beach in San Diego where we last left them. Danielle, How long did you have to internally battle with yourself to finally, what? Sorry. I'm on, like, Facebook notifications are going crazy. How long did you have to internally battle with yourself to finally decide to publish in the stillness? I can't imagine that it was an easy decision after pouring so much of the god-awful truth onto those pages. Um, that was the point of In the Stillness for me, was to get the god-awful truth on page and get it out there. That being said, with each chapter that I released, especially in the beginning when we're really in Natalie's, downward spiral, I was like, everyone's going to hate me. They're going to hate this. They're going to think I'm a bad mom. They're going to put all kinds of things on me, because even though our characters are fictional, people always tie them back to us and wonder where they came from, how um, we got there, and um, whatever. So I was nervous, and when I got all the files uploaded, I waited a day, a full 24 hours before I published them, which is kind of a long time. I just kind of sat there and I kept myself busy, and ignored it because I wasn't sure. But I have a great support system, so that helped. Charles, what was the most difficult part of In the Stillness to write? That is a two-part answer. The first part is straight up Natalie's thoughts on motherhood, because some of them are mine, some of them are my friends, and some of them are just thoughts that I know from other people. And I felt like in telling that part of her story that I was airing people's dirty laundry, and it only made me a little uncomfortable, and only for a short amount of time. But it was hard to write. It was hard to come to terms with some of my own feelings about choices that I made. Um, Secondly, nearly anything with Riker was really challenging for me to write. Uh, he is created from some people that I've known in my life. Um, some of them made it, some of them didn't. So writing about the PTSD kind of breakdown um, was challenging because it was just painful and hard and raw. So that was just simply challenging. What was more challenging for me was the end, in seeing his growth and just becoming this successful man, because I wanted that, you know, for some people in my life who didn't get it, and there are so many people who don't get the help that they need, and don't get to have their second chance, and don't get to have their happy ending. Um, so it was a little bittersweet to write that part. Um, so the cutting scenes themselves were not that. I mean, it was hard to actually write them, but I wasn't nervous about those in the same way that I was about the other things. Danielle asked if I know anyone who has the degenerative hearing loss like Ollie, and did I cry when I realized that that's where the story was going. I don't know anyone that has that. There were some concerns with my oldest son for a while, and that's kind of a long story. He can hear now, through a time where his hearing was not great, and we didn't know it for a while. Um, so it was really challenging. It's better now though, and you wouldn't know that he has any deficiency now. So, um, but I was concerned for a while that he did have a degenerative condition, which is why I know about that condition. Um, Kristen, who is your favorite character you've written? That's Riker. Riker is my favorite character. Okay, so technically it's Natalie, because I think she's pretty badass, and we got to watch her kind of whole journey. But there's this reservedness, whichever the proper word is, um, about Riker that I really appreciate, and just his kind of stoic nature. I don't possess those things, and it was just really great to spend time with him and watch him grow, and just, he didn't have a ton of dialogue. well, he had a bit near the end, but he didn't, he wasn't overly verbose, which clearly I am, um, and was just kind of strong and sure. Even when he wasn't sure, he was just really able to get it together and focus, and really, he's just a really great character for me to write. Meg Ryan, are there any um, are are there any topics that you just can't write about? Hold on a second. People are interrupting me. Um, are there any topics that you just can't write about, that you've thought about but just can't bring yourself to deal with in a book? In the Stillness was kind of that for me, but I was able to write it. My goal in having the freedom to publish what I want, because I'm an indie author, is to just tackle some really tough issues and not always drag you through the ringer like I did within the Stillness. I mean, nobody wants to do that all the time. I wouldn't have the emotional energy to write that kind of a book all the time. But I want someone to learn something about a topic when I write, or I just want them to look differently at it, or to just say, I didn't know. So I don't think right now anything is off limits for me. We'll see. Um, okay, Kathy. It's already been mentioned that you have many ideas for future books. Do you think you might venture away from the romance genre and entertain topics like the ups and downs of parenting, even with a comical twist? No. I don't think that I'm going to write any more books about like parent and family life, unless certainly not a funny book. My kids are too young for anything to be like actually funny. I mean, some of you follow my stuff on like my regular page, and I'll make funny points, but I don't think it could carry that sort of hindsight humor for an entire book yet. Maybe later. Um, I've toyed with vodka. I have a YA series that I'm interested in writing. Um, that will be later. Like I don't even know when I would write that, because I would need to take a writing break for like a month and just read nothing but YA and YAMA stuff, so that way I could learn the rules and the language and the dialogue and just kind of the intricacies of it, because it's different. Each genre is different. So that's the plan there so far. Um, if Karen Vaughn, if you had the opportunity to change one thing about your past, would you, and what would it be? Well, the politically correct answer is I wouldn't change anything, because then I wouldn't have all of this. I think that's bullshit. If I could keep my kids and my writing, I wouldn't so much go back and like change anything and like make it necessarily not happen, but I would like to move pieces around. I would like to have people that are not in my life anymore, be here. I was really close with a set of great grandparents, and I wish that they could be here now. And I mean, like, my friendship with Maggie, for instance, I would have liked to have that 10 years ago and still have it now. So there are people that I would have liked to have met a bit earlier, um, and people who are gone that I would want back. So that's the only thing I would change. Um, where am I? Maggie. Boxers or briefs? Hello? Boxer briefs. That's what Bo wears. It doesn't matter to me, but to Ember it did. Kristen, what makes you feel the sexiest? Or when do you feel super sexy? I feel super sexy right fucking now. I think there's two different kinds of feeling sexy. There's the cat call that you get from a stranger on the sidewalk, which it's alright. It's okay once in a while, and if it's not like really kind of offensive, then it's like, damn straight, stranger on the street, I do look good. And then there's the kind of sexy that someone who's in your life, like every day, can make you feel. I will reference the first sex scene between Bo and Ember in 10 Days of Perfect, 26%. Um, Even though they had only known each other a couple days, it's that feeling that someone is just in tune with you and taking care of you and paying attention and just has like that intention of being part of you completely, and that's really, really sexy. Um, so Charles asks, if you could pick a city to go hang out in anywhere in the world for like a week, where would it be? Dublin, Ireland, hands down. It's like the only place I want to go. Well, I don't want to sound like provincial, but it's really, if I had to go one place at all, that would be it. I have wicked Irish heritage in my family. I mean, my kids' names are Quinn, Paige, and Aiden, for God's sakes. And everyone that I know that's gone to Ireland wants to go back or has gone back, and they just say it's fabulous. And this, like, Dublin itself is like this great intense city, and there's this gorgeous countryside and people who are just doing, like the country thing, and it's not like a scene. I think a lot of Europe right now um, is a scene, and I don't need that. I just want to go someplace quiet and beautiful and reflective and peaceful, and that's my answer. Buy me a ticket, CSM. Um, tangent, tangent. Tanya's brother, what's up? Um, Sarah, you have the opportunity to meet one musical band, backstage passes, the works, night out, dancing, drinking, partying. What would that band be? Um, that would be Michelle Pace is going to kill me. It's going to be Dave Matthews Band, and here's why. I have followed their career longer than any other band that I'm a fan of, and I mean, I love music, all kinds of shit. I could pick any band, and someone could give me backstage passes and be satisfied. But they are a band, tons of instruments and tons of talent. And I'm sorry, can I help you? Um, we have a relationship. Um, and they know how to have a good time. So Mazel Tov, and let's drink up. Um, Favorite movie? Um, Breakfast Club and Pretty Woman. That's two. Give me a break. Breakfast Club was like my anthem. The first time I saw that movie was on TV, and my mom's like, "Oh, watch this." And who knows how old I was. The movie came out, I think, the year I was born. Don't hate me. It really didn't come out in 1983. Um, so I didn't see it till I was, till I was a little older. But and then Pretty Woman is just this unconventional love story that, um, and my mom, I watched it with her when I was like 9 or 10. She was like, "This is a beautiful story. Show me watch it." I have goosebumps right now thinking about it. And Maggie Myers knows that when I say I have goosebumps, I've got goosebumps. I showed her. It's true. Anytime I say I have goosebumps, trust me, Bible, I've got goosebumps. Um, and Vivian's a beautiful name. That's why I named Beau's mom Vivian. And I just think that sort of intense, unconventional love story is always better than, Hearts and Flowers. So, um, what do your comfy clothes consist of? Well, yeah, got my Beverly Hills 90210 shirts and my yoga pants. They're just yoga pants, gray. Um, what celebrity would you like an up close and personal encounter with? Jennifer Lawrence. I feel like we were separated at birth. She is hilarious and she is witty, and she is self-deprecating, and she is just unabashedly like over it without being like Kristen Stewart over it. She's just like, I don't understand. Like, what is this crazy life that I have? And she's just so appreciative and genuine. So, Jennifer Lawrence is my answer. Favorite color? Black and gray. And for actual color, it'd be blue and purple. I'm a Taurus. Check it out. Vanessa, when is the next Bo and Ember book coming out? I feel like, did I answer that already? No, it's because I've recorded this twice. So Regan's book will be out in late August, and then I have another book coming out, planned to be coming out in mid-fall, like late October, early November. So I don't know what that means for Bo and Ember's book. Early next year, I'm guessing. Um, I don't envision right now that I'm going to have a ton of trouble writing it because I kind of already have it mapped out in my head. So I think by the time I sit down to write it, it'll come pretty easily. You write, Betsy says, you write phenomenal sex scenes. Do you feel like you have to abstain to really write a kick-ass sex scene, or is it easier to write these scenes while getting some inspiration? I don't think that it would necessarily matter either way because I'm not writing my sex scenes, I'm writing the characters' sex scenes, right? So like the sex scenes between Bo and Ember are different than Adrian and Ember um, or Regan and CJ and whoever they're having sex with. Those are all different. And so I just have to really tap into their personalities and who likes what. Um, and the very first sex scene I wrote, which was 26% in 10 Days of Perfect, I just got the bones of the story down, no pun intended. And, excuse me, could you get off of me? And then went back and wrote in all that kind of emotive stuff. But in Reckless Abandon and thereafter, it's come really easily to me because I'm a pretty passionate person, and not just in that sort of kinky way, but I just am always in that kind of, I'm ready to write a sex scene at any time, I guess. So Tara says, favorite position. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If he's good, it doesn't matter, right? It could be, over, under, sideways, it doesn't matter as long as he knows what he's doing and both of you are in sync. I think anything can happen. So I think that's it. I don't think I've left anything out. And yeah, so thanks for posting your questions. I hope to do this again soon, and I can't wait to. Oh, I will say, you've heard me bitching about Regan's book a lot, and I figured out today why. In case you're wondering, keep watching. It's because what I should have done after I finished writing In the Stillness was not write anything for like 2 weeks, because I was in a very difficult frame of mind when I finished that book, and I want Regan's book to be like romantic and sweet, not going against the stuff that I've already written, but certainly just um, having him find love. And so then I dove in, and the beginning of his book is pretty dark and heavy, or I mean, not like dark and heavy like In the Stillness dark and heavy, but some things happen, and so I've been finding it hard to get out of that dark and dreary mindset. So this week I haven't written a damn thing, or well, I wrote a chapter, but my kid was on spring break and I didn't have a lot of help with the kids, so I didn't write anything. So I'm feeling like cleansed a little bit in that area. So I hope to kind of pick up tomorrow and really start making some headway on his book. Um, so that's all. Thanks for watching.